Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal.
I'm Marc.
I'm Zoe.
We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom. We share inspiration, we share struggles, we brainstorm solutions. We would love to have you join us. Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. And today it's not just the four of us, we have a special guest. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
Okay, is it Caitlin Mehta?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. It's so meta. We have Caitlin Mehta
I'm
on the podcast.
Thanks for listening, everybody. See you later.
Quick as that.
Do we not want to keep that?
No, keep it.
Okay,
No,
I thought it was
no.
funny.
It
Okay.
is. It's a dad joke.
Yeah.
It is a dad joke.
We're keeping all this also. Yes, we are.
Good to see you.
We teach with Caitlin, and it's her first year in the district. So
is.
we just got done interviewing Maya, who is one of the original music teachers, and I'm so excited to get you on the podcast, Caitlin, because you burst onto the scene last year, and now we get to have you. We got to keep her.
Yeah.
I'm
And
so excited to be here.
Yay. Also,
Yay.
I've been wanting to hang out with Caitlin for 1 year now, and it's finally happening.
You should want to hang out with Caitlin because she's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start something good. So, Caitlin,
Yes.
I can't wait to hear your backstory.
Oh
'Cause
my
I'm sure
goodness.
you have had such an interesting life, and I know very little about the outline of it. So, shall we fill it in?
Yep.
How'd it start?
Yeah.
Well,
Tell us Tell us where you were originally from.
I'm originally from London, Ontario, Canada. Mm-hmm. So I'm a Canuck.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, girl.
So London is
Oh, yeah.
between Detroit. Oh yeah. London is between Detroit and Toronto, so it's like a small town, getting bigger. Grew up, lived there throughout my elementary, high school, and my undergrad.
Oh wow.
So
Did not know that.
yeah.
You're like
You're from
Canadian through and through.
I had a roommate from London.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Canadian London.
Canadian
Canadian,
London.
not UK London.
I know. It's very
Yeah.
confusing.
We'll talk about this later, but yeah. Very
Right
cool.
on.
Yeah.
What was your music ed like growing up?
Well, I was just asking my mom about this because she was like, "Well, I put you when you were 3 years old. I put you in Dalcroze Eurythmics." So I was like, "Oh, that's so cool! I just learned about this." So I did that for about a year when I was 3 years
You were
old.
3.
And
Wow.
yeah, and I think that probably sparked my interest later on in music. When I was in 4th grade, I auditioned to be in a performing arts school from 4th grade to 8th grade.
What did you audition on?
Well, it's all for performing arts, so it's drama, vocal music, instrumental, visual arts, and dance. So they incorporate all of that into the
wow.
curriculum there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing experience. And so I auditioned on all of those things in a group setting. And those were like my formative, I think, years for music education. I had fabulous teachers. I really enjoyed, obviously, instrumental music and visual art. But yeah, so that was very formative for me. We did a performance in everything. We did drama, we did performance in choir and instrumental. I started off on the flute when I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Shout out to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan and Caitlin.
And then before that, I did actually recorder and some Orff Bard instruments in a Kodai setting.
How
So
cool
that
is
was
that?
really
Cool.
interesting. It was really fun.
All right.
I did have a really strict recorder teacher though, so that was interesting.
Oh, did it scar you?
It scarred me a little,
A little bit.
but I'm over it.
Like hot cross buns, faster.
Go.
Oh, what is
Faster.
this?
Uh-oh.
No, I know. Right? No. What does a strict recorder teacher look like?
Oh man, she was old.
Okay.
She was just like not lenient. She was just like, okay, let's go. Like,
Okay.
yeah, we had actually all types of recorders too. We had the bass and tenor, and that was really
Rock on.
cool to
And
be
this was
exposed to
during
that
your
at a
4th
young
through
age.
8th grade time.
Actually, recorder was just 4th, and
Okay.
then we started our band or string instruments in 5th through 8th.
You played bass recorder as a 4th grader?
I didn't play bass. I
But it's an
chose
option?
soprano. I'm always soprano flutes.
Fair enough. I see the theme.
You know, I can imagine that after you've taught recorder for a certain number of years, you would just be over everybody's stuff and get real stressed. I can see
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that
I
too.
can see
Or
that.
you
Yeah,
get really good at it and be fun.
that's true too.
Could.
I mean, you could go
I'm
either
just
direction.
saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It can go both ways.
Go both
Right.
ways.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so from elementary, I went to a Catholic high school, which was quite a change for me. And then when I was in 8th grade, I actually auditioned to be in their senior band, so that was really fun. Joined that, and then in my 10th grade, I auditioned to be in a vocal jazz group, and I did the accompaniment on piano.
Nice.
So that was really also very formative years for me because I had actually I skipped this, but I had taken piano lessons for 8 years, and that was very like conservatory piano, so recitals, exams, really I'm not a good test taker. So I just that turned me off a lot. And then I got into the realm of like improvisation and like it was a huge transition for me going from playing, chords and scales into like
Make it up.
learning how to improvise and
Yeah.
like vamp on different chords, and that was so freeing for me. So that was really fun, and also to like support a big group of singers. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it sounds like you had a pretty extensive.
It's pretty robust.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Music
variety.
ed.
And
Yeah.
the variety continues.
So what does music education look like for little kids up where you're at? So you had the Delcros when you were 3, but what about kindergarten through 3rd? Did you have a music teacher? Do you remember that?
I went to public school. I
Yeah.
don't really remember. I remember
Okay.
singing in a choir.
Okay.
And my choir director was also very old.
Yeah.
But
in your public school or elsewhere?
my public
In
school.
your
Okay.
public school. So you
So
had
you're still there,
chorus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had chorus.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to get a
Yeah.
gauge because that's more than a lot of the kiddos around here have.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always fascinating to compare what it's like in California versus East Coast versus Midwest, and now we have a little
Canada.
snapshot of Canada.
Thank you, Mark.
Shout
It had
out.
to be done.
Were you humming "Oh Canada"?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll move on.
Get out. Anyways,
I think though my mom was like really active too in putting me in different. She was like, she went to Mommy and Me and like put me in like all those nursery rhymes were very prevalent in my house. We would always be playing music. My dad played guitar and like
That's
Raffi.
Yeah.
I loved Raffi.
Me too.
Charlotte Diamond, Sharon Lewis and Bram, all that good stuff.
So you said your dad plays guitar. Are your parents musical in any, like, are they musical themselves besides playing guitar?
I feel like my dad's pretty inherently musical.
Sure.
He used to play guitar. He doesn't anymore, but yeah.
Mark, are you trying to say guitarists aren't musical? Is that what you're trying to say?
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes.
Bam.
3 chords in a capo does not make you a music major.
At Mr. Keehmer, you can tweet at him.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
a
direct
flash.
all of your ire that way.
Ire, that's a good one. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So were you a music ed major in undergrad?
I was.
Yeah.
In undergrad, I went to the University of Western Ontario.
Okay.
And I did my undergrad in music, honors in music education. That's what they call it. And so then I did all the fundamentals of everything.
Okay.
And I learned actually, what's helping me now with my strings, is the fundamental of strings and band instruments. So I know the basics of basically any instrument.
Yeah. You got the grand tour.
Yep.
Yep.
And then what I really loved was my conducting in my like upper years in undergrad. I loved conducting bands. So that was I just love conducting. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
I miss that.
So how did you meet your husband?
Well,
His name is Avi.
his name is Avi. Actually, a lot of American people say Avi,
I know,
but
I
it's
just said
pronounced
Avi.
Avi.
It's Avi. Thank you
Avi.
for correcting that. Okay.
But no, I thought I'd share that with you.
Yeah.
Just for kicks. And I met him, so I taught out in St. John, New Brunswick, out in eastern Canada, beside Maine, for 3 years. I was an Sistema teacher, Sistema inspired teacher in a program out there. And he was a teacher also in Boston for an Sistema inspired program. There was an international Sistema conference in Scotland, in Stirling, Scotland, and I met him there.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't hit it off right away, but we decided
Oh, really?
no.
Did we not like each other at all, or what?
There was a feeling.
There was a feeling.
There was a little feeling.
Oh, interesting.
Live in the force.
Yeah. All right.
We Oh my goodness, it was so much fun. We did like a lot of, they did this really fun traditional like Scottish line dancing one night, and it was just like the highlight of both of our times at this conference.
Yeah.
But no, he decided to like contact me when we both went back. He was in Boston at the time. I was in St. John. So we just decided to do long distance for half a year.
Wow.
And how
Yeah.
far is that for those who might
So
not know?
it's about 6.5 hours. So we would meet
Okay.
in Maine halfway for about half a year.
Wow.
Wow.
We were very dedicated.
That's awesome.
It's a music teacher romance.
Love
It
it.
makes me
is.
really happy.
So I'm curious about like what brought you from like the time in between your university studies to St. John, New Brunswick. Did I say no, I think I just combined two things. Is that one place that I just said? St. John, New Brunswick?
So New Brunswick is the province. St.
Okay.
John is the little town that
Okay.
I
Good
taught
job,
in.
I did.
Zoe.
I put
You did
Practice.
it. Shout out.
Shout out.
I do love Canada. I still wear, I got a Roots sweater when I was 13 and it's my favorite sweater still. So
Good quality.
so quality. There's no wear and tear. It's the best. But so what it's great.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it
great.
so much.
So yeah, like how did you get into that El Sistema inspired world, and like can you tell?
Yeah,
Tell us about
absolutely. In my undergrad, we studied El Sistema for a little bit because I was up and coming in Canada. And then I went to Kingston, Ontario to do my teacher's college for 1 year. In Canada, they do teacher's college for 1 year. Now they do 2, so I managed to skip that.
Dodge that.
But yeah, I dodged that. And I was in an artist and community education program. And instead of just doing practicums, regular in high school within the area, I had the opportunity to choose wherever I wanted to go. And so for my practicum, and so I either wanted to go right to Venezuela to like be in the El Sistema movement
Yeah.
and help
Go
out
back where it
and
started.
go back where it started and see
Yeah.
everything. Or I wanted to go to LA to work in the Yola at Ola program there.
Yeah.
And so basically, it was getting very dangerous in Venezuela at the time. So, and I didn't want to do that. Long story short. So, went to LA and I was there for a couple weeks and I just fell in love with the philosophy, using music for social change. And the music teachers out there were outstanding. Always like focusing on the kids. It was very intense, focus on excellence, and the kids were just like, they soaked it in, and they just loved it. You can tell. Everyone was so invested, and that kind of like revived my philosophy, and it really is now like a huge part of my philosophy for music education. And so so that really and then so I heard of a program out in Canada during that year, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I could do that when I'm done teaching. And so I had the opportunity of being a music teacher in a regular public school, or I could go out to St. John in the middle of nowhere and start teaching part-time in this new El Sistema inspired program. And I started out as their first woodwind teacher, and then I went on to be the orchestra conductor there. It was just amazing experience.
Wow.
There's so many reasons why you're our people.
It's so
I
cool.
love it.
Yeah.
So I also did my practicum at Ola when I was becoming a teacher. And so like for me too, it was such an inspirational place. Like idealistic really, and like walking the walk. Like when I learned about El Sistema, it was there at Ola, but I could just see like the tenets of El Sistema, like striving for excellence, and it was really happening every day, and like that social aspect was so important there too. So
And the teachers really invest in the kids
so much.
And they talk about, we can start performing with the orchestra at the LA, like with the LA Phil. We can start. They played at the Super Bowl one year. It
Yes.
was amazing. Like
Wow.
when they see that and they're part of it,
Yeah. It's
and
so
they see the
inspiring.
trajectory, they're like, oh wait, okay, this is real.
Yes.
And now they did a world tour
Yes.
recently.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
It seems
awesome.
like the youth orchestra and the Philharmonic are really teammates up in LA.
Yeah,
and
that's the goal.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah. Okay. So then you get to St. John, New Brunswick. Did I do it again?
No, you did it
No,
right.
you did
That's
it right.
great.
Nailed it.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to go to this place really bad. And you
Orf
were
trip.
the.
Orf trip.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I mean,
I wonder, do you know if there's an Orf chapter there?
No, I
There's
doubt
not.
it.
Huh.
we'll make it.
Well, if you are out there and you're an Orf teacher, please connect with us.
That's right.
Yeah. So you're the first WINS teacher there. And like,
In the St. John chapter. So there's
Okay.
also in Moncton, they have their bigger program, but they now are up to basically 11 different programs within the province of New Brunswick.
Wow,
So they
check it.
really, you should check it
They've
out.
embraced it.
I want
They've
to.
really embraced
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Good.
Amazing. And then, so can you tell us, like, what was it like there? And, like, yeah, because I am just so curious.
You're
like,
a pioneer.
Yeah, because that is a long ways away from where we are today. So, yeah,
Yeah.
tell us about
What's it like? What was it like out there founding those programs, getting it off the ground?
You just dig, you just plant your feet and you start digging, and you find out, well, these programs are in these specific places for a reason. So we basically are in an underserved community where there's very low income among family members, and you can see the behavior within the kids there is just very, like, it needs to be harnessed towards something good, or else it's a very, like, cyclical cycle within poverty
Right.
itself. So they need some kind of change and positive just affirmations and positivity in their lives.
Right.
So so being a teacher there and help growing the program was awesome, because you really get to know where you are building a program from the ground up. All the things that go into it, all the planning, all the organization, all the teamwork that's needed. We did a lot of staff meetings where it was like, what's a plus, what's a delta? Okay, we need to work towards this and this and this. And we started with a team of maybe 5 people, and now it's in like 14, 15, 16
Cool.
staff members. So
awesome.
and it's grown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So can I talk about where our paths collided now?
Yes, please. By all
Okay,
means.
so before we started recording, I was just telling her I will never forget the email that brought Caitlin Mehta into my life. Last year, it was around January, February, and I got an email that was like, "Hi, I'm a music teacher who's married to a music teacher, and we've been traveling all over the world for the last year, checking out music programs all over the world, and I found you on Twitter. Can I come to your class?"
Wow.
And I was like, "What? Who
I was
is this?"
thrown off.
Absolutely. I was like, "What? Yeah, you're my people. Get down here. We're gonna be best friends." And then Caitlin walked into my room, and I immediately loved her.
Aww.
Yeah, like she just came in with this energy, and I was like, "Yes, I'm never letting you go." It was so. It was
didn't.
magical. We didn't. We sucked her in. So. Tell me about what you and Avi did for a year.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Well, I was in Boston for 3 years, and he had been in Boston for 7. We were both music teachers, and we just decided to quit our jobs. So, it was good. We don't have any kids right now, and we just we both have the travel bug, and we just wanted to experience the world and different perspectives. And a big goal of ours was to learn Spanish. And so that's what we did. We quit our jobs, and we traveled. We started, I can go into depth with this, but we went to many different continents. We went to Africa on a safari. We went to India to visit his family. We went to Colombia, a lot of traveling within South America. We learned in Colombia, we learned a lot of Spanish and connected with the community. That we went into a very small community there called San Carlos, which is like, if you ever get a chance to go there, it's amazing. Like tons of waterfalls and just like gorgeous tropical environment. We basically stayed in a hostel, and it was like a hostel / Spanish school. So we stayed there, learned a lot of Spanish and connected with the locals there. And then we went on to Peru and just many different countries. And then we came back here, and it was after we came back, and we were kind of in the middle of traveling. And so we were planning to go on a West Coast tour of California, and because we have a lot of family up there. And I decided, you know what, we're going to be in San Diego for a while. I'm going to check out the schools there. And Avi mentioned that, you know, there's a Sistema program out there, but they're also, his friend is Lauren. And so...
Right, it all comes back to Lauren, right?
Episode 0.
And so, we connected with Lauren. And then I was like, okay, this is really interesting. So I just went on Twitter. That was like, and I haven't been on Twitter since
1994, right?
But I was like, I just fell in love with the videos and the quality of teaching and the amount, like the frequency of the posting and just mostly like how happy the kids were. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to see this. Like a few teachers. I actually saw Crystal and Marc and Jonathan. And I loved it all. And I was like, I have to go see and observe this program. It looks so cool.
Which one did you love the most?
I will not reveal
Don't even ask. It's Crystal. It wasn't us.
It was not.
Moving on.
We'll just say everyone
Awkward
was different.
turtle.
And
It was
amazing.
Crystal. Elephant is now like we identified it.
I was waiting for second place. Duh. Anyways,
It's a tie.
moving on.
Coconut
Jokes
elephant.
aside.
Tie for third is actually what it is.
Sorry, Caitlin. Okay.
I'm not apologizing.
And we're back. So not only did you come and crash all the classrooms, and we all just like latched onto you and we're like, okay, we're never letting you go. She did ORF levels with us this summer. Was that your
did.
level 1?
It was, yeah.
Cool. And you not only did, in the middle of levels, she called Avi and told him basically like, I want to move here.
Wow.
Yeah. And so by the end of level 1, he had the car packed and was on his way, right? Did I have the timeline right? Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was, what went into that, and how did you decide to land in Southern California with us?
Well, when we were traveling on the West Coast during our 1 year, we considered San Diego and we considered living here. Everything was great about being here because I remember Lauren was like, oh, we have a few like openings, hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a really cool opportunity. But it was like really far away from family. So we were just like, no, we're going to stick near family. I actually went to Chicago, and because that's close to where we live, and I actually got hired for a job there.
Oh, wow. Oh, the plot thickens.
Yeah, and then came out and did my ORF levels and was reminded of how beautiful this place is. And
We have good weather.
Yeah. Sorry, Chicago, but
yeah. And it was just, it kind of fit in with what we wanted our lifestyle to look like. And I was like, you know what? I really love this community. It's very positive. It's very supportive. Why don't we try it?
Wow.
Yeah. So, and at that point, Avi was on board because being away from family, it wasn't such a big deal. And especially with with the year-round calendar, we get a lot of holidays. And so we do get to visit family actually more often than before.
Oh, wow.
So it kind of really just fits for us.
That's awesome.
Cool. So now that you are halfway through your first year here, did you walked into a new program, right? Are you founding the program at your school?
Basically.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's been in some transitions throughout the last couple of years from what I've seen. But I am teaching at 2 different schools.
You're at 2 different schools. I think one of them didn't have a program and one had had one off and on in the last 5 years. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
So how has that compared, getting a program off the ground now that you've had level 1 in a completely different, community, but there are some parallels. How is it compared starting these programs to what you did in Canada?
Oh, it's very different because I did the Sistema teaching, so it's not as intensive instruction. And it's more, I see kids maybe once a week. So it's
less frequent.
Less frequent, unfortunately.
But do you have more kids now?
Between the 2 schools, I teach about 700 kids. So yes.
Yeah, and before you had how many?
Oh my goodness. Just a regular amount.
Okay. Just like 2 or 3 or 100.
No,
2 or
just
3
2 or 3 people. That's it.
Right.
Within the Sistema program, it was very different. We did a lot of like small group classes.
I understand. Okay.
But I also did some teaching in Boston. I did some teaching in New Brunswick in the public school system. So I had just like just a lot of different experiences.
You have such an interesting career.
Yeah. So I've seen and done everything.
You really have.
But no, I really do like being. Each school is pretty small. In my opinion, it's like around 300, give or take. Okay. And so each school I really love for different reasons. But it's and it's different being in 2 different schools. But I'm very adaptable, so it's fine.
Yeah. She's in the middle of what we all went through with no materials and stuff. So but it's nice to be in a place now where I'm like, hey, I have an extra class set of Jingle Bells. Go for it, know? Yeah. So
the beauty of it is that I have my own music class at each school, and they do have some Orff instruments, and they both were through the VH1 grant. One school has band instruments, a set of class band instruments, and one has a set of class orchestra instruments, string instruments.
Oh, okay. So you do have the VH1 grants.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. So
great. Which means you have your own classroom too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
thanks VH1.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Or Save the Music. Save the Music.
Save the Music.
Thanks, Save the Music. Yes.
So that's been really exciting too, because I've been using their class time to get introduced to their instruments or reintroduced to their instruments, and they're really loving it, just like getting the chance to like learn something new and just work on persistence and diligence and overcoming the little struggles that you get when you start a band instrument or a string instrument, and it's fun.
So it's one of your schools Kellogg?
Kellogg.
Okay. So I have a Kellogg story. There's a teacher at my current school, Rosebank, who used to teach, I can't remember what grade he taught, but in the general classroom setting at Kellogg when it was a magnet. And so I did a winter concert for the first time at my school a couple weeks ago. John came out, and there was snow. Our PTA brought in real snow. It was very fun.
That's so cool.
So it was an amazing day for the snow, but also for me to see like what it would be like at my school to have each grade level perform. And it was on a Saturday, so not a lot of teachers could make it, but the one who taught at Kellogg made a point of being there. And in the days preparing in our dress rehearsal, he talked to all of the second graders, and he said, when I taught at Kellogg, this was very important. The time that you are spending right now with your music teacher is very important. You need to act a certain way. He went through concert etiquette. And so like the impact that school made, I think this is over 10 years ago, is still like, you can find it throughout the district. Like you can still feel the effect of it. But of course now there's this big gap. So now we're faced with that challenge of like revitalizing it, like reteaching those skills and that expectation of what music means in a community. So that's my Kellogg story. It's a cool place. I mean, it was the first school that I visited in Chula Vista. So
Yeah.
From what I hear, it used to be a performing arts,
Yeah.
performing arts
Yes.
school.
Yes.
And actually, one of the president of the PT at Kellogg used to attend Kellogg back in the day, and now she has this core like expectation of what a performance should be like.
Yes.
And it was so good to have her like partner with her for this upcoming concert, because she's like, yes, I totally agree with you. We should like teach concert etiquette. And so it was just really great.
That is so nice.
I want to come to your next concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please
Tell
come.
me when it is.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something you mentioned earlier I wanted to cite later on the episode, but you said how El Sistema has shaped your philosophy. What would you say is, if you can jot it down in a tweet, what is your philosophy in teaching, and how do you implement that in your classroom?
I would say my philosophy is every student, regardless of background or ability, should have the opportunity to grow and become confident in a community of music.
Oh, yes, Caitlin.
Yeah, so it's the community that really draws me in, and it's the connection, it's the relationship building that is the reason why I'm a music teacher. And because you don't get that in a math class, you don't get that in science. And you have an opportunity to build on what someone's offering up, or you have the opportunity to listen to what somebody's playing, or you get the opportunity to support one another. It's just, so that's my philosophy came from basically the El Sistema approach, where it's music for social change. It's music as a tool to develop great social behavior, and become a real like proper citizen of the world, where you're connecting with others, where you struggle together for something good.
That's beautiful.
I'll raise my mug to that.
Cheers.
Yay.
Yeah. I have someone that I kind of lean on when I need to talk through hard things. And so I was talking to her about the struggle I have sometimes of loving my students, but also not carrying their burdens for them, because I really struggle with that balance. I feel their pain very acutely. And she told me, don't pick up burdens that aren't yours to carry, and don't forget that the music is the grace. And the music is the healing. And I visualize it now, what the sacredness of what we get to do, I
like that a lot.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
And also just doesn't, the intention of what she was trying to, was trying to share was that it's not on the teacher, it's the music, and the music that not you are creating, not the kids creating, but we as a community are creating. That's what the grace is. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yep. And every kid, regardless of background or ability, deserves access to that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm with you. That's good.
Yeah.
Good
I'm feeling
stuff.
fired up.
I know,
That
right?
was awesome.
That was good.
Regardless of soprano or bass recorder.
Caitlin, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share before we go? I think that's a beautiful place to end. So
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Great. Well,
Before we continue on to our spiccato, a hard left turn.
what direction are we going this
We're
week,
doing
Jonathan?
I don't know what direction. No. Just want to say a huge thank you to you guys. Yeah, I'm looking at you, camera. To everyone, all the viewers, all the listeners to this podcast. It's made this podcast more than just 4 people talking to microphones, but it's made this into a community, and we've really
Yeah,
enjoyed
today it's 5. Sorry, keep going.
aggregately 4 people. And Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. Anywho, what I'm trying to say, without being rudely interrupted by my co-hosts, is that we really appreciate you. And
Recorded.
I hate you all.
Not you, listeners.
No, I'm talking to you, Mark. Moving on. So what I'm trying to say is we do appreciate you, and we do appreciate what you're doing. We've received your Facebook comments, your YouTube comments, and we've all tried to create a community off this. And we would love to increase the size of this by having more visibility. And how that happens is we want you. Yeah, you. to go on to iTunes or any other podcast subscribing venture you go through, and send us a review. Send us your thoughts. What do you think about this podcast? Be honest. Share, 5 stars or 1 star, but be honest and share our thoughts so that we can improve, but also so that our visibility can increase, so that we can have a bigger community. Also, if you want to ask any questions to us as a group, you can always email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Thanks.
That's right. We'll be back with Spiccato after the break. I want to take a quick break and thank my husband, Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. If you're in the area, they'd love to have you come by the office. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information. Caitlin has brought us a Spiccato. What do you have for us?
Hi. Well, I have a Slinky. And I use this Slinky every day with my younger kids.
You do?
I do. Well, sometimes it's a Slinky. Sometimes it is a stuffed animal. Sometimes it is, a scene on the board. Mm-hmm. And it's for basically vocal exploration. So, I usually am the leader, so in my classroom. So I take this out, and it's a visual representation of their voice. So let me just untangle this right now.
Yeah,
there we go.
There's a lot of cables around here right now.
So I do this, and I go ooh, and I model the round oohs. And usually they follow me with a drawing finger. I say, get your drawing fingers out, and I go, ooh, and then they repeat after me, or I make different shapes with it.
Right.
And then when they get really good at their oohs, and I go from high to low, ooh, or I go up around my head, and they follow the arc of the Slinky, and then when they get really good, then they get to be the leaders, and then they get to move the Slinky around. And
I love
really
that it's a
involves
rainbow
them.
Slinky.
Yeah, it's rainbow. It's fun.
That is fun.
Yeah.
I
Good
like
for
it.
matching pitch. It's good for it's good for matching pitch. It's good for just direction, momentum of the voice.
Can we pass it around?
Yeah, please.
Trying to see what else. I like your idea for sure. What else can you do other than just be enthralled by the rainbow colors?
I know. It's a cool Slinky.
It's a manipulative, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I feel like you can do something with the wavelength or something. I don't know.
Ooh.
Like work with a group.
Yeah, I apologize, audio listeners, for me hitting the
Bumping the
cable.
microphone.
I know. Sorry, Bryan. What are your thoughts, guys?
I do know that every Science of Sound kit comes with a Slinky because sound waves are not shaped like ocean waves. They're shaped like a Slinky. So
Sinusoidal.
you're supposed to. Here, I'll take one.
I was playing with it.
It's or Explorer.
I know, but if I understand. So you're supposed to take one end and pull it, and then the Slinky going back and forth is supposedly what a sound wave really looks like.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Another thing I just thought of. Sorry, Mark.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Look,
sorry. I know. I don't want to interrupt your playtime. Sorry.
Perhaps this could. I go back to movement because I like movement a lot.
He does.
Don't tell anyone.
Everybody knows.
So I don't know, using the Slinky because it has a sense of pull and push. Perhaps without breaking it, obviously, and I think you'd have to start as a teacher, showcase it. But
Some little boy's already broken it.
Exactly. But
tangled up.
have one student hold one end, you hold the other, and have everyone maybe just choose a body part and imitate the direction that the sling is going.
Oh,
Could use it
yeah,
to
I like
teach
that.
twist.
Twist, yes.
I like it. I was thinking the chain reaction might be kind of fun if you get a line of people in a group and they observe the way the different coils react to each other, and then you could have the kids do something in a wave. What? Oh,
Music.
you're making noises.
I'm making noises. I'm making music. Excuse me, music. Thank you. Just saying.
I love that sound.
Oh, her sounds fine. Mine is not. Okay.
True. No. I was thinking maybe last year I tried some of the Keith Terry lessons, and he starts with a lot of body percussion. And I wonder if like you could. And what I loved about Keith Terry was all of his different types of clapping, and I wonder if you could use this as a like example of a. Can you clap like this? Because it's soft, you know, but it's. Yeah, I don't know.
I like it.
What if?
What
What if
if?
you used it as a visual representation of? I remember in Orth Level 1 where we sang solfege down the line,
Yeah.
and
The
so
ripples.
it's kind of like that visual representation of how one can affect the next and just keep continuing.
I like that.
Echo
to the
chain.
end. Yeah,
Echo chain.
Yeah,
Right.
I like it.
that's all I got.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome.
Good work,
Thanks.
people.
And now for round of the week.
Round of the week. Round of the week.
What are we singing?
Today we are singing "Chairs to Mend."
Yay.
All right, so it goes like this. Oh, and yeah, chairs to mend. Chairs to mend, old chairs to mend. Mackerel, fresh mackerel. Any old rags, any old rags.
I
Let's do
like
again.
it.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Let's do, yeah.
Do you want us to echo you?
Sure. Let's do section by second. Chairs to mend, old chairs to mend.
Chairs to mend, old chairs to mend.
Mackerel, fresh mackerel.
Mackerel, fresh mackerel.
Any old rags, any old rags.
Any old rags, any old
Whole
rags.
thing. 1, 2, ready. Chairs to mend, old chairs to mend. Mackerel, fresh mackerel. Any old rags, any old rags. Do you want to just do 5-part harmony?
We could try it.
Ooh.
Why not?
Where do we start?
I mean, we're going to end up doubling up, so.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
That's fine.
So
Or what do we want to?
So every time
With the
you get to
mackerel.
a new good that you are talking about.
Cool.
That's
or
the
we could
latest.
do
I like
1, 2, 3.
Sure.
What team am I on?
You're on Team Caitlin. I'm on Team Mark.
Woo!
Yeah.
John John's by himself.
So together first, and then rounds.
Cool.
Yeah. 1, 2. Chairs to mend, old chairs to mend. Mackerel, fresh mackerel. Any old rags, any old rags. Chairs to mend, old chairs to mend. Mackerel, old chairs to mend. Any old rags, fresh rags. Chairs to mend, fresh chairs to mend.
Any
Mackerel, fresh chairs to mend. Any old rags, fresh chairs to mend. Any old rags, any old rags. Any old rags, any old rags.
So this is supposed to be when? What does it say? When? Okay, on the daily streets of Oxford in the 17 and 1800s. So voices of like the people hawking their services and goods. So I was thinking to make it a little more relevant. What would the scenario be that the kids would be walking by, listening to people tout their wares, and for some reason like Ocean Beach Farmers Market popped into my head. But what do you think? What would you, if you were gonna modernize this song and this lesson?
So you're saying it's a marketplace?
Well, yeah, they're like calling in the streets, trying to get customers. So I was thinking if it was Ocean Beach, it would be like fresh matcha, you know.
I was thinking.
Matcha tea, fresh matcha tea. Yeah, well,
Lumpia.
I know.
Oh, I was
Maybe
thinking
certain
lumpia,
substances
fresh
that recently
lumpia.
became legal.
Okay.
Not that in school.
Lumpia, fried lumpia.
Yes.
Lumpia, fried lumpia. Homemade gems, fresh homemade gems.
Ooh.
I'm thinking about what
Ripe
Mark's thinking.
tomatoes, ripe
Sorry.
tomatoes.
I'm gonna go sit in the corner again.
Yeah, you're fired.
Yep. What
Get
could
out.
go be?
I don't know because that's the farmer's market I most frequent.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the Lily Farmer.
Parking's
Anywho,
the easiest. You can park at the library.
Caitlin, thank you so much for coming
Thanks.
and sharing
Thank
your
you for
amazing
having me.
story.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It's incredible.
I've learned a lot more from you
Aw.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though you haven't used it too much recently,
Right.
but you're going to change it soon. Where can people find you on the Twitterverse or anywhere actually to
Where can
contact
people
or
find
such?
me? Ooh, I need to update my social media.
All right.
Mucho.
Okay.
So you can find me at Caitlin Nova
Okay.
on Instagram.
Right on.
But then I will share social media through that. I can
Cool,
do
cool,
that.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm at Ms. Kumagai.
I'm at Finny Vappa.
I am at Mr. Keehmer.
I'm at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman. Also, you can find us on Twitter at CHClassroom. And also, as mentioned before, feel free to email your thoughts and such if you're more in the email fashion. chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yay!
Thank you.
The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore, Jonathan Seligman, Zoe Kumagai, and Marc Keehmer. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Bryan Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.
That's it.
John, I'll play the starting pitch, but I want you to lead it. Otherwise, I will lead us in the wrong
I
direction.
will sing the first 3 notes.
We will
Okay, I'll
modulate.
Are
let
you
do
doing
it.
the recording
We
for
will
the
go the
round
wrong
now?
way. No, we're just
I'm so confused.
we're a hot mess. Welcome to the podcast, Caitlin. Very sorry you have to put up with
As
this.
Kim's a
It's all
guest,
good.
it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay.
Yeah.
You can see exactly how organized we are.
At least to
I mean,
visually,
there always has to be. It's like chaotic
I don't
harmony,
mind the
right?
side,
There you go.
personally.
Oh, girl, you get us.
So
I like
we'll
it.
start with
in
you.
fact, I think we'll have to take a note, but when you brought Maya back in,
Yeah.
I was taking a sniff in my nose. Just make sure you cut that part out. No, I did.
That's the beauty of podcasts because you get to edit that stuff out.
You know, the beauty of podcasting
We're
is that we
good.
are
We're doing
all
live.
highly aware of our strange nasal sounds.
There are a lot of sounds.
So that's the worst. Oh, I hate it. I'm gonna go home.
If you want to give yourself a complex about the weird stuff that you do with your voice,
Yeah.
start a
Break
podcast.
my voice.
Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. Hang on, I got to do that again. I don't even know what that was.
Take 2. Outtake part 2.